You know, Volusia's watering schedule changes with the clocks when daylight saving time ends and standard time resumes Sunday, November 3rd. Do you know your watering days? Hi, I'm Amber Patterson, and this is Volusia Magazine. I'll fill you in on the water saving schedule during standard time. In addition, I'll give you drop-off locations and times for the next hazardous waste collection date as you plan your fall clear-out. And then just in time for the Volusia County Fair and Youth Show, which begins November 7th, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron as he sits down for an in-depth discussion with David Viers, Executive Director of the Volusia County Fair. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. You know the old saying, spring forward, fall back. It reminds us to turn our clocks ahead in the spring and back in the fall. This year, daylight saving time ends and standard time resumes Sunday, November 3rd, so don't forget to set your clock back when you go to bed Saturday night. You'll also get an extra hour of sleep. November 3rd also is the day when Volusia County's lawn watering schedule changes.
The watering days change from 2 days a week watering to 1 day a week watering because of the dormancy of the growth of plant material and things of that nature. The landscape doesn't need 2 days a week watering. 1 day is sufficient. Rainfall during the winter period typically is enough to keep your lawn healthy. What we rely on, of course, is for cold fronts or cool fronts to come through. They mingle with our warm, moist temperatures that we have here in the state, and of course it causes rainfall. Hopefully we'll get quite a few of those cold fronts come through this winter to add moisture to our environment, and if so, that would be plenty to keep the landscape healthy.
More than half of residential water is used on lawns. Watering restrictions are in place to ensure that water used for irrigation is used efficiently. People who live at odd-numbered addresses may water Saturdays, and people at even-numbered addresses may water on Sundays. Businesses may irrigate on Tuesdays. Each zone of an irrigation system may be watered for no more than 1 hour or 3/4 of an inch a day. Watering is not permitted between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. The restrictions apply to all county residents, including those living in city limits. They also apply to all water sources, including private wells and pumps. Unincorporated residents who violate the water conservation ordinance may be fined up to $500. The time change also is a reminder to change the batteries in our smoke alarms. Smoke alarms can save lives if they're functioning properly, but studies show that most smoke alarms don't work because of missing, dead, or disconnected batteries. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 2/3 of home fire deaths occur in homes without a working smoke alarm.
Your smoke alarm, when it's working, is going to notify you of any problem with smoke or fire in your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's a great emergency notification tool that could save you and your family's life. Assistance can be made for the checking or the inspection or the replacement of batteries for those people that need assistance. All they need to do is contact Volusia County Fire Services for the unincorporated area, and we'll get somebody out there that'll be able to assist them with that. In addition, Volusia County Fire Services also offers a smoke alarm program that we make available to the people that need these devices, and we will actually assist with the installation of those devices. And they can access that information through volusia.org.
Residents are encouraged to contact their local fire department for smoke alarm information. To learn more about water conservation and fire prevention, you can visit volusia.org. Volusia County's Solid Waste Division is hosting a household hazardous waste collection event from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, November 2nd at the New Smyrna Beach Public Works Department. It's at 124 West Industrial Park. There's no charge for dropping off household hazardous waste.
Our most popular drop-off is the paint. The other would be automotive fluids, household chemicals, pool chemicals, batteries, that would be car batteries or any rechargeable battery, fluorescent bulbs, and anything else you might have laying around your house that's considered a hazardous waste. It's important to dispose of these type of items properly because it prevents groundwater contamination and from the chemicals or such getting into the environment and causing a pollution, or it also prevents creating a hazard in your house. We do accept sharps, however they do have to be in the red approved containers and you will not get your container back.
Only unmixed household hazardous waste is accepted. Businesses are not eligible for free disposal during these collection events. Obsolete electronics and tires will also not be collected. The Tomoka Landfill and West Volusia Transfer Station also offer popular paint exchange programs all year round. You can drop off paint you don't need anymore and pick up a color that's more to your liking. These facilities recycle about 300 gallons of paint a month through the paint exchange. They also provide paint to non-commercial and nonprofit organizations as available. For more information about household hazardous waste and the paint exchange program, you can visit volusia.org/recycle. Keep your eyes on the Ocean Center calendar for some great upcoming events. As usual, they've always got something for everyone. The Ocean Center Convention Center has booked 2 substantial pieces of convention business for the county-run facility: the National Association of County Engineers and the National Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds. Both events will be in 2015. The National Association of County Engineers, also called NACE, will be held for 5 days in April, bringing 750 delegates, guests, and exhibitors to the Daytona Beach area. The National Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds will be at the Ocean Center for 5 days in November, and it's expected to draw about 500 park owners and managers to the event. In addition to these national conventions, comedian, ventriloquist, and television star Jeff Dunham is bringing his Disorderly Conduct Tour to the Ocean Center Arena Sunday, January 26th. And the Harlem Globetrotters are coming to the Ocean Center Saturday, March 1st. Tickets for both events can be purchased at the Ocean Center box office, at all Ticketmaster outlets, and online at Ticketmaster.com or by calling 800-745-3000.
Hi, I'm Joyce Cusack, Volusia County Council Member at Large. As tough economic times continue, Volusia County residents and visitors are seeing the value of public transportation. During the last fiscal year, VoTran had more than 3.5 million boardings. VoTran offers a variety of services, including fixed route buses, a beachside trolley, van pooling, and a gold service for people who can't ride fixed route buses due to disability or age. For more information about VoTran, visit votran.org.
Pedestrians in one Volusia town have a new safety device to use when crossing the street. Reporter Joanne Magley has more in this week's Volusia Here and Now.
As you drive, pedal, or stroll down A1A in the town of Ponce Inlet, you should notice new bright yellow flags at 5 crosswalks. At least that's the goal of a new safety campaign by the town's police department. It's called Flags Over Ponce, and the goal is to draw more attention to pedestrians trying to cross the street.
We'd received numerous complaints from residents and visitors that they were afraid to cross the street at some of the crosswalks. I'm sure not just in Ponce Inlet, but everywhere.
So police performed a traffic operation, with Chief Frank Fabrizio as one of the undercover officers posing as an average pedestrian to see how many drivers would stop.
In just about 2 hours, we had 52 violations for not stopping for people that were in the crosswalk.
Most drivers aren't aware of the pedestrian law, but when they see somebody carrying the flag, it gets their attention.
Florida law, Statute 316.130, states drivers must stop to allow a pedestrian to cross a roadway when the pedestrian is in the crosswalk or steps into the crosswalk. Chief Fabrizio says that the 52 violations prove drivers need to be educated.
So with that, we decided to develop a program to bring more attention to the pedestrians that are trying to cross the streets in Ponce Inlet.
Here's how the program works. The pedestrian picks up a flag from a holder on one side of the street, holds it out while crossing, and returns it to the container on the other side of the street, where it will be available for the next walker.
In Ponce Inlet, we get just about 1 million visitors a year. So they don't know what's going on, they don't know where they're driving, they're looking for certain places, they're not paying attention, plus they don't know the crosswalk laws. So this is just something to bring more attention to the pedestrian so they can cross the road safely.
So far, there's been a positive response to the new program.
The council was very excited about it and really happy that our chief took a proactive approach to all of the new pedestrian crosswalks that have started from Dunlawton all the way through Ponce Inlet with the county. And so we're excited to see how the program works, and hopefully it'll help, as I've said before, mothers and children crossing, especially at this section.
The 5 pedestrian flag locations on South Atlantic Avenue, or A1A, can be found at Old Carriage Road, Sea Haven Drive, Calmet Avenue, and in front of Winter Haven Park and the Harbor Village condominiums.
It's a simple, easy, cost-effective program that we were able to put at 5 intersections for right around $1,000.
For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
Be active and play 60 minutes a day. That's the message for children these days. It's an attempt to keep children healthy. Stephanie Strong has more in this edition of Community Health Matters.
Obesity is a major concern nationwide and here in Florida. Health experts are advising parents to encourage their children to be active and play 60 minutes a day.
Physical activity is very important for children. They need to be active at least 60 minutes per day. Adults, maybe only 30 to 60 minutes, but it's very important to keep our weight under control through physical activity.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, childhood obesity has more than doubled in children and tripled in adolescents over the past 30 years. The percentage of overweight children in the United States is growing at an alarming rate, with 1 out of 3 kids now considered overweight or obese. Many kids are spending less time exercising and more time in front of the TV, computer, or video game console. And today's busy families have fewer free moments to prepare nutritious home-cooked meals. From fast food to electronics, quick and easy is the reality for many people. Being physically fit is also a message that area college students are picking up on.
Physical activity has definitely improved my daily performance. I wake up with more energy. I feel more energetic when I'm at work or when I'm having a long day. And I believe that walking and eating right and exercising is all a part of physical activity, and it helps me during the day.
I think that maintaining a healthy lifestyle is really important, and so every day I try to make sure that I'm doing some sort of physical activity, whether it's going to the gym for an hour or just walking my dogs around the neighborhood. I just try to make sure that I'm getting outside and doing something active.
For more information about the benefits of physical activity, please visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website, www.cdc.gov. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
And as always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, with his guest, David Viers, Executive Director of the Volusia County Fair.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. The Volusia County Fair and Youth Show is an annual tradition in Volusia County that goes back to the early 1900s. The annual Volusia County Fair today has become one of the premier county fairs in all of the Southeast. This year's county fair is right around the corner, so it's a good time to check in with the fair's executive director, David Viers. David, how you doing? Thanks for being with us.
Doing fine. Thank you for having us.
I know the fair is right around the corner. We got lots to talk about, but let's talk a little bit of history. I mean, this fair goes back, I think, to the early 1900s, and it really is a tradition in Volusia County.
Yes, so the fair was chartered in 1923 and held the first fair in 1924, January of that year, and was held each year after that until 1939, when it was stopped for the war efforts.
Mm-hmm.
It was restarted in 1954 and ran through 1959 when they ran out of a place to put the fair on, and was restarted through the efforts of some of the local businessmen back in 1966, and was moved to where we're at now on the East New York Avenue by Interstate 4, and has run every year since that. And we moved there in 1968.
You know, going way back to those early days, Dave, if I'm not mistaken, one of the early fair sites was out there by the Amtrak station.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's there where Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers Circus is at now.
And of course, the modern fairgrounds that you have today, and you said you've been there now for quite some time, that's one of the best fairground facilities, I think, in all of the Southeast.
I think it is. It's very economically located for everybody to be able to get off the interstate to it, good entrances to it, nice layout, and it keeps everybody where they can roam around the fairgrounds and have a lot of fun on it.
And I think that property, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, there's multiple owners. I think the
4 different owners.
Yeah, the Farm Bureau, I think, the fair, I think the county has a piece of it.
And the cattlemen.
Right. Hey, on any given fair, I think last year, you know, you were around what, around 175,000, 180,000?
188,000 last year, and we hope to break that this year.
Now, was 188 a record, Dave?
That was our record year, yes, sir.
And so, like the United Way, you're trying to do better than every year.
Each and every year we try to do better.
And one of the things that we've talked about so many times, you know, besides all of the great entertainment and the midway and all of that about the fair, the one thing that you really need more than anything else is good weather, huh? Got
to have the good weather. If you get rain, it can hurt you, especially on a weekend, and then you have to try to recover from that.
David, obviously to put on, you know, this kind of a fair with all the logistics as big as it is, with all the moving parts and so forth, takes a lot of hands, not just your hands. Who actually puts this fair on?
There's a board of directors of, right now there's 24 directors plus 5 honorary that meet monthly to plan the fair. They are the ones that volunteer all year long, and then when the fair gets here, we have approximately about 300 more volunteers that come in to help get the entries into the fair and work during the fair to help put it on.
So, you know, you get 180,000 or whatever it might be. What happens to all of that money? I mean, what do you do with that money?
All that money goes to pay the bills of the fair itself, and it also goes to pay the premiums that we pay to the exhibitors that show the kids and the adults in the different areas. And then it, like I say, it does help us from one year to the other to make it to the next fair.
Right. And obviously you have to set aside, I guess, some money for continued capital improvements and that sort of thing. But basically it's a nonprofit kind of thing, right?
We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and yes, sir, we do have to put money away to help out with capital improvements and pay those.
You know, a lot of people think that because it says the Volusia County Fair that you get money from county government. I don't think that's the case, is it?
No, the only money that we have ever received from the county was the addition of the 2 buildings that were built back in 1998.
Right.
And we have paid money back towards that, towards the bond issue that the county got to build those.
You know, what's interesting, I think, Dave, you know, obviously here is Volusia County, I guess 10th or 11th largest county in the state of Florida, you know, 500,000 people. If you roll that clock back to the beginning of when the fair was started, as I recall from talking to people like yourself, it was an opportunity, I think, to showcase the county's rural nature, the agricultural nature in Volusia County. And I think you still have that emphasis on, you know, the rural agricultural elements of Volusia County, don't you?
We still point towards it, especially with the kids on their animals, showcasing the agriculture of the county. And in our horticultural sections, we still try to get people to enter and show what they do with their fruit and different areas like that.
Goes back maybe to a simpler times.
A lot simpler back in the 20s when the fair had probably one of the biggest poultry sections that was in the southeast at that time.
And it was perfectly okay to talk about homemakers and,
yes,
and that sort of thing.
That's when you saw all of that.
David, one of the things that is a highlight of the fair, and you just touched on it, really the emphasis is on kids. It's really the Volusia County Fair and Youth Show. And one of the more touching things that occurs every year at the annual fair is you have all of these kids that raise an animal. They raise a cow, or they raise a lamb or a pig or what have you, and then they care for that animal all those months, and then they bring it to the fair and hope that it's judged a winner, and then they sell it. It's one of those touching, bittersweet kind of occasions at the fair.
Our annual auction this year is on November the 14th, and last year we did, I think it was approximately $190,000 that we gave back to the kids for their animals.
So the kids raise the animals, and if they do a good job and get a real good bid for that animal, obviously it's a good little enterprise.
Good little enterprise that they can learn how to raise that animal and how to market it through that part, and most of them take the money if they're coming back and buy an animal to do it the next year.
And we probably should give a little bit of a pat on the back to the Volusia County Council, because my understanding is for the last several years they pooled their own resources and they've actually bought an animal out there kind of to help the kids, huh?
Yes, sir. The last 5 years that I can remember they have. Yes, sir.
And again, for those people that like handmade items, there's these the quilts and that sort of thing, that crafts that is on display, as well as a wide variety of homemade products,
right.
jellies,
we
jams.
In the Hester building is where we do our creative arts, our canning, baked food, photography, sewing, and that building is usually full along with the school exhibits.
And David, we must touch, I guess, on the crowning of the Fair Queen for young ladies that enter that contest. That also is a learning opportunity for them, and one of them ends up being crowned the Fair Queen, the Fair of the Queen. Yeah.
We have 16 entries this year. They will next week be at the fairgrounds to go through their rehearsal for the opening night, and on November the 7th that night we will crown a new queen for this year.
And what does the queen do, David?
The queen helps out during the fair, giving out the prizes at the livestock shows. Then during the year at any event that we have, is usually there to represent the fair.
Mm-hmm. And obviously you have one of the best midway operations around. You've had them for quite some time. They're well known in the industry, very safe and so forth. Tell us about the midway this year.
Degler Attractions, it still has 2 years left on the contract we have with them. They will be back. They have a couple of new rides they're bringing in this year. To me, one of the best midways in the United States, and they have a very excellent safety record.
Yeah, I was going to say, my understanding is, and I've learned this I think from you, is prior to the start of the fair, all those rides have to be inspected, I believe, by the state.
By the state, no matter where they've been. If they've even been in the state of Florida, they have to be re-inspected, and usually I have one time that one ride did not open, and it was because there was a latch that they had to wait on to get there. But usually opening day, every ride is ready to go.
Well, that's awesome, Dave. Hey, and entertainment, you think back on some of the stars that are really big stars today that at one point in their career played the Volusia County Fair. Sometimes I guess you catch them on the way up, and sometimes you catch them on the way down, but you've got some good entertainment this year.
This year on November the 10th, we have Casey James, who was on American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Senior Day on November the 12th, we have the Platters and the Original Drifters at 3 and 7.
I'm too young for that.
Well, me too. And then on the last Saturday night, on the 16th, we have Diamond Rio coming in.
Yeah, good country.
Very good group.
And so what's the deal on admission? How much does it cost to go to the fair?
The fair is $10 at the gate. You can buy your advance tickets right now at $8 and advance ride band for $15 at Walgreens. And then the kids are $5 to get in at the gate, or $4 advanced at Walgreens.
So if you're looking to save some money, if you got some kids and they're going on those rides, those ride bands are the way to go, right?
If you're coming on a Friday or Saturday, it'll save you between $5 and $10.
Absolutely. So David, tell us the dates for this year's fair.
Fair is November the 7th through 17th.
And I believe you have a website if people can't remember all of that.
Website is www.volusiacountyfair.com, and also this year we will be offering testing. If you want to look on there and find out how to get onto it, you can subscribe to the fair and you will get tests as to what's going on.
No, David, give me a break. You guys have gone high-tech.
We're trying to go high class if we can.
Well, David, good luck for this year's Volusia County Fair. Obviously, the key here is good weather, so thanks for sharing the information with us today.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Our guest today, David Viers, the Executive Director of the Volusia County Fair and Youth Show. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, too, for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council meeting calendar there, too. You can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. Mark this on your calendar. Mike Orlando, a biologist with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, will share interesting facts about Florida black bears at 6 p.m. Thursday, November 7th at the DeBerry Public Library. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.